Alright, so we're actually going to talk now about skip, limit, and sort. So the first thing I want to mention is that these happen in a very specific order. So first we sort, then we skip, and then we limit. So it's important that it happens in this order because if we sorted afterwards, we might be skipping documents that we didn't actually intend to skip. And through our limit, we might not get to documents that we would have otherwise. So it's important that we sort first. Alright, so this is an example of using skip, limit, and sort in the Node.js driver. So right here we're actually using the grades collection again. We'll just store that reference here to make the code below a little simpler. And here we get a cursor by doing grades.find, and we're actually not being selective, so this will give us all the documents in the grades collection. So the first thing we do is do cursor.skip. So we skip document, cursor.limit, and then cursor.sort with the first argument of the key that we're sorting on and the second argument of the direction to sort. So let's run this. Alright, so we got these students back. We've sorted based on the exam scores, and we see that we have 3 80s and an 85. So it's sorting ascending based on the exam scores. So all the hundreds we saw are further down the list. Alright. So now let's change things up a little bit. So let's move this limit up here and the sort up here and do all of these in different order. So if we run it again, we see that we have exactly the same result that we had before. So the reason for this is that no matter what order you do the sort, limit, and skip in, the driver actually reorders them to make sure they happen in the correct order, with the sort first, the skip second, and the limit third. Alright, so let's try a more complicated sort. So let's comment this out, uncomment this. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to sort on grade first, and then sort the students alphabetically in reverse second. So when you have the 1 here, it shows that we're in ascending, which means we're starting at the low grades and increasing. And here we're sorting in descending order, so we're starting actually at the last names in the alphabet and going up from there. So let's see how that looks. Alright, so the results look similar, but you can see here that we're sorting on the grade, but within all of these students that got 80, we have Steve, Joe, Amanda. So we're sorting the names in reverse descending order. So one thing I want to note here is that we sorted the grades first and the names second. So we didn't sort alphabetically and then sort by the grades inside those categories. We actually sorted by the grades, and then within documents that had the same grade, we then sorted by name. So the way we determine the order in which we sort and which one takes priority is the order that they're in this array. So you notice the grade is first, which means we sort on the grade. And then we have student, which means that amongst documents that had the same grade, we sort by student. And that's actually why this here is an array and not an object. Because in the Node.js driver, if you have an object here with keys and values, the fields can actually be reordered within that object before they make it to the database. For a sort, that would be bad because if your object got reordered without you realizing it, you may have a completely different sort order. You may be sorting by student first and then by grade, just because your fields got reordered. Whereas arrays actually do not get reordered. So we use an array here to make sure that grade comes first, and then student comes second, to tell MongoDB that we want to sort on grade, then we want to sort on student amongst grades that are the same. Alright, so let's look at one more way to do this. So here we actually made a cursor and we called the limit, skip, and sort functions, but it turns out that you can actually just make the cursor with some starting options when you do the find query. So the first argument to find is the selector. The second argument is the projection, as we talked about before, and the third argument can be an option structure. So in this option structure we have skip of 1, which is equivalent to calling .skip of 1. We have limit of 4, which is equivalent to calling limit of 4. And we have sort with this array here, specifying how we're sorting based on grade and student. If we just wanted to sort on one key, ascending, all we would need to do is put a string here with the name of the key. And hopefully this makes it even more clear that the order in which we call these doesn't matter. we're just passing in an object here, and internally MongoDB makes sure that these happen in the right order. So let's run that just to make sure that they're the same. Alright, so here we see grades are sorted first, and we've limited to 4, and it looks like exactly the same result set as we had when we called the functions on the cursor. So that's how to do skip, limit, and sort using the Node.js driver. Alright, so this is the quiz about skip, limit, and sort. So the question is, what are some ways we can use skip, limit, and sort in the MongoDB Node.js driver? Check all that apply. So can we include skip, limit, and sort options in the option object for find1? Can we pass a sort order as an argument to find and modify? Can we call the skip, limit, and sort functions on a cursor before retrieving any documents? And can we call the skip, limit, and sort functions on a cursor after retrieving some documents? Check all that apply.